they're running.
And Matthews into the fast break. Great handle by Purnell. He'll sting that low right corner.
Alley lines as well. Now the ball is scrambling here, and Kahn comes up with a huge save early on.
Barrett right back to Gaffney. Now Helton step down, shot finds the corner.
They have numbers. Matthews, Kaliza, down to Purnell. Purnell back to the middle. Matthews picks the far side. Textbook fast break by the Bulldogs.
Welcome to Bedford High School here in Bedford, New Hampshire, where the BCTV crew will bring you this evening's Bedford Lacrosse game as they take on the visiting Pinkerton Astros. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger, joined as usual by Jay Abendroth. Jay, two powerhouse programs, both entering the game at 13-4, tied for first place in the regular season. This is the finale and has big playoff implications.
Yeah, absolutely. We have both teams going to make the playoffs. So this is a little bit more about, how do you get that Uncle Mo momentum coming on your side? And I don't think we're going to see a lot of the slow lacrosse here. I think we're going to see both teams trying to come out, score a lot of goals, and really, maintain dominance throughout the game. Three big things. Clears and rides we always talk about. I think it's the face-off X. Again, we'll see if Bedford, Dylan Riccio and team can get that ball. And then finally, you and I were talking about before, shooting. Shooting is going to be key here too, because up and down game need to hit the goal.
Bedford on a roll recently. They've won their last 7 games. Most recently, they had 2 games earlier this week. Manchester Memorial / Central. They won that game 17-6 on Tuesday, and then immediately went to Keene and played Keene Monadnock and won that game 21-8. On the other hand, Pinkerton, they did stumble recently. They played the Billerica Memorial squad on Monday and lost 16-4. Followed that up with a win at at home versus Nashua North 19-2 to set up the regular season finale. We've had some interesting weather throughout the day. It was mostly overcast, pretty much nice throughout most of the day, and then some storms did roll through about an hour ago, and heavy rain was over most of the town. Hopefully we're able to duck and avoid most of the rain throughout the rest of the evening, that it won't affect gameplay here.
High school event, a positive experience for all involved.
Tonight, they did honor the seniors, actually for both squads. Pinkerton has 6 seniors this evening. Bedford High School was kind enough to recognize them. That's Jeff Gormady, Ben Quintiliani, Kyle Yushkovich, Cole Mackin, Ronan Connors, and Jackson Chase. Several of them starters this evening. And then for the Bulldogs, again, honoring the seniors, 6 players. One was a manager this year after an unfortunate injury, Alex Cotnoir. He joins Evan Capello, Luke Purnell, Colby Boyd, Tommy Frangelo, Parker Gupta, and Brian Riccio as the outgoing seniors here for Bedford this year. Each of them getting the nod to start the game as usual on senior night. Coach Gaudreau giving them the nod and getting him some PT early. I can imagine shortly after the start they'll make substitutions given the implications of this game.
Starting on stick midi, a senior number 33, Jackson Chase.
Jay, shooting,
a junior number 34,
absolutely important tonight. High pace,
the head coach for the Astros,
athletes run around every which direction. I'm going to look for those hustle plays, those 50-50 balls, those plays don't necessarily show up in the stat books, but really make a huge difference overall in the outcome in each and every game, especially a game of this nature.
Yeah, absolutely. And this type of game has a different feel. We rolled through the Pinkerton season. They had some tough losses out of state, and then they come in and win 19-2 against some of the weaker opponents within the conference. And so I think both teams know that there's some evenly matched matchups here, and so it just feels a little bit different. I think it's got a little bit of an edge to it. So I anticipate anticipate that 50-50 being a scrum, a lot of sticks flying. And again, I think that's where it's going to be won because these two teams are relatively evenly matched. We know Bedford has the very strong midfield and a pretty good ride. We'll see if Pinkerton, if they do anything defensively to thwart Matthews and Helton.
Should see some scrappy play too. I would imagine some bodies flying around, physical play, bringing the body on each and every opportunity, both ground balls as well as slides. Should be a fun one to watch. We'll go to the anthem here in the stadium, but we'll hear from our underwriters on the broadcast and join you shortly for our opening face-off here from Bedford High School.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
12 minutes on the board, just about ready for face-off. Again, BCTV's crew bringing you this afternoon's Bedford Bulldogs lacrosse game against the visiting Pinkerton Astros. Again, I'm Corey Munster-Tiger with Jay Abendroth here in the press box. Big night. A lot of fans in the stands, youth games at halftime. We're going to see the bobbleheads entertain us for a little while. The parking lot was pretty full when I came in. I don't know about you, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were talking about, I think I parked at Market Basket down there on 101.
A little bit of a walk to get here, but all good. You like to see the excitement. You like to see the enthusiasm from the young kids, from the parents, from the opposing team. Everybody getting here to support their squad in what should be a phenomenal game this evening.
Yeah, and it's always good too, Coach Gaudreau starting all the seniors, and you know we got games left, but you can't stop and think about how much these seniors have added to this team, this culture. It's a pretty heavy senior-laden team when it comes to output, as you see some of those numbers out there. So good to see them be able to say thanks to mom and dad early on and get a little bit of playing time here. But again, big game. See who can come out on top.
Players lining up at midfield for the traditional lacrosse handshake before the game. Last minute instructions from the officials, who are today Tim McCaffrey, who we're quite familiar with, a legend in New Hampshire officiating. Tyler Leeds, not quite as legendary, but still we see his face around here all the time, and he does a great job. And Brian Murphy rounds out the crew of three-person squad tonight for them. Should be a good team to help these two teams figure out who will come away victorious.
So if you're not quite legendary, are you memorable? Notable?
Notable? Memorable? I'm not sure. We'll figure out some good description for him by the end of the game. Goalies shake hands, meet in the middle. They take their positions in their cages, and we're ready for the opening face-off, and we're underway. One there by Dylan Stingle for the Astros as he faced off against Dylan Riccio, who likely will be, both of those guys will be manning the face-off throughout. Ball's behind now with Levi Weaver looking for the ISO. Looks to get high side and does, rounds the corner and buries a shot early. 1-0 on a topside high move by Levi Weaver.
Yeah, nice move by the freshman there. We see him, no help coming from the middle. Weaver able to come hard, go through the stick and bury it.
That was the key there too, just ran right through that stick check. Not strong enough to keep him back with that stick. You're going to need more, little physical force, little press out with the arms. As Dylan Stingle wins the ensuing face-off. Great back cut there, but phenomenal save early on here. Ethan Kahn saves it up high as Matt Gormady got loose, couldn't bury high lefty. And now the Bulldogs throw it away on the clear. Gormity will look to go again. Gets the edge, lefty, now he buries it. 2-0, a little fake low. Stuck that top left corner over Kahn's shoulder, and the Pinkerton Astros are up 2-0 quickly in this game.
Yeah, and we see Gormity here just outlegging Colby Boyd. Smaller in stature, but able to move his feet and took advantage of an odd man opportunity. No one was really back, and so one-on-one goal.
Goal by number 12, Matthew Gormity.
Back to the face-off, X, just under a minute into this game, and the Astros ahead 1-0. They're looking to make it 2-0. They look to make it 3. Weaver picked that near side post, and this Bulldogs team is reeling just 1 minute and 4 seconds in.
Yeah, we talked about that on stat sheets and on paper, 2 evenly matched teams, but this is the little things that can create a tidal wave, kind of coming out fast, taking it to your opponent. And we see Pinkerton absolutely taking advantage of maybe a little bit of a lethargic start from Bedford.
Looking to ISO here is Tyler Pinardi. They'll spin it around to the far side for Weaver. Weaver, a goal early here, just a freshman for the Astros, and getting the start. He's guarded behind by Tommy Frangelo. Slide comes that time. Dylan Riccio gets across, and now with the quick ground ball and snipe was Tyler Pinardi. And that 3-goal margin is here with just under 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, nice job there by the freshman, Pinardi. Just able to move a bit quicker, pick up the ball, and get it through. I'll tell you, it's a different speed, I think, at this point. We see Pinkerton coming out and really moving their feet. Bedford's just a bit slow on these 50-50 balls and the one-on-ones.
To me, it's urgency, too. They feel it. They want it. There's a hunger there. As Bedford finally wins a face-off, Riccio gets control. The Bulldogs are in the offensive end for the first time this evening, already down 3. Matthews finds Purnell, draws the double, dishes back up top to Bennett Matthews. He gives it to Brody Helton, who will draw the long stick midfielder, Brady Blaska. Helton draws the double quickly. Gupta rolls away from pressure. Backside feed, great cut. Luke Purnell on the doorstep from Helton. They get one back.
Yeah, really nice awareness there by Helton. I think Brody was just about to see replay, going all the way across the defense. No sticks up in the air. Purnell made himself available and put it away. Nice pass and finish by the 2.
Didn't see enough of that defensive set to tell if they were in a zone defense. It felt like they might have been right there at the end, especially given that back cut there.
Yep.
But we'll have to see the next 6-on-6 half-field situation. Pinkerton wins the following face-off, but throw it away as they couldn't connect. Stingle looking for Gormity. Bulldogs catch a break there.
It's always good for Bedford to get that first goal. Any team get that first goal and kind of slow down, say, okay, we can do this. We've done this before.
Bulldogs clear it out here as Helton runs through and over a few defenders into the offensive end. They'll take on a few more. This time it gets popped out. Loose ball push is called. Tough call there as Helton was trying to run through the entire team. Drew the body contact, ended up on the turf. And the Bulldogs, in my opinion, got a little lucky there.
Yeah, Carney coming back into the play after getting run over. Brought body to body. I agree. A little bit ticky-tack, but that's okay. Bedford is the beneficiary.
The Astros are in a 3-3 zone defense here. And they turn it over, looking inside. Capello had a stick free, and Matthews couldn't quite hit him. The Astros clear it out. Some nifty footwork and a save by Kahn. Rebound out front, Will Frangelo puts it back in the crease for Kahn to quarterback this clear. Teddy LaPointe near side. And the Bulldogs climb the ladder near the near sideline. John Purnell fires it behind to brother Luke. Now Capello draws one. Purnell couldn't squeeze it as they tried the wheel. Now John Purnell back to Gupta. Helton up top. Near side for Purnell. Takes a little space behind. Now he'll look to get the edge. Draws the double inside. Can't make the finish. Great save there. Standing tall in his cage was Gavin Burwell. Nice move though. I like it by John Purnell. A little aggressiveness from the lefty, getting high, running through the defender, drawing the double. Got the shot off, but unfortunately hit Burwell.
Yeah, I think we also see Pinkerton going into a bit of a zone. They had their short sticks down low, so Purnell able to take advantage of that inside roll. Unfortunately, shot it right into the chest of the goalie.
That's the respect that Pinkerton is paying for those two outstanding midfielders for the Bulldogs, Helton and Matthews. We all know that their offensive prowess makes them quite the threats. Here's Jackson Farrell. Back up top, Weaver. His pass wayward, and a turnover by the Astros. 6:42 to go in this first quarter. The Astros ahead 3-1.
Yeah, Bedford doing a nice job in that 6-on-6 set. Each of the 3 goals thus far have been unsettled situations, so good to see them keep their composure in a 6-on-6.
Matthews helps that clear through the midfield. Purnell, Capello. They work the wheel. Now up top, Matthews tries to go low to high, but pulls it a little too high. Great opportunity there backside on that weak side pass. Another one here. Purnell can't squeeze it. So the Bulldogs reset.
Yeah, I think we see Bedford settling in through the season into this offense they've got. It's kind of a pass, replace, look for skips, and they've done a really nice job as we see Gupta here have another back post opportunity that yanks a little bit wide.
Getting good opportunities on this backside as zone defense keeping head towards the ball. Helton now gets time and space and rips one. Helton from Matthews. We've called that connection several times throughout the season. We call it again here. The Bulldogs back to within 1.
Yeah, really nice shot here over the goalie's left shoulder, off stick high. I think we're seeing Bedford catching Pinkerton ball watching a bit. They're really, as Bedford moves, rotates, and then throws back into the player that's filled the space, Pinkerton's really slow to rotate and get to the ball. Great opportunity taken by Helton there.
Bulldogs win the following face-off. John Purnell tries to crank a lefty low to high and again misses the cage. But the Bulldogs right back on the offensive end, seeing if they can match that 3-goal spurt that the Astros came out strong with. Matthews back to Helton again. Too high.
Yeah, nice opportunity, stepped into it. Probably a bit too far. I know he just hit one from there, but these goalies tend to be able to take care of those. So like to see him take a few more steps. He's a big enough guy to get in, lower his shoulder, and get through maybe 5 more yards before the shot comes off.
Double team there on Luke Purnell leads to the turnover, and now the Astros in transition. Finish. Weaver finds Kyle Ushkovich on goal line extended, takes a couple of steps high, and finishes nicely.
Yeah, another odd man opportunity as we see the replay. That's Pinardi again coming down, the freshman. Tic-tac-toe, and number 6, Kyle Yushkovich, able to bury it. A little bit slow on Colby Boyd coming across, but credit to Pinkerton for running a pretty classic man advantage fast break.
Procedure on the following face-off, so the Astros will be back quickly into the offensive end. 4-2 is your score as we're under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Weaver now with a goal and an assist. And he'll take it behind. The freshman, again, impact player, getting the nod. Clearly has the skills. He's matched up with Will Frangelo, looking to get that top side again. Slide comes. Pass was in the dirt. Ground ball, batted around. LaPointe had it for a second. Now headman by Riccio. They get it to Capello, who's able to get through some checks, and now he'll settle. Good transition defense by the Astros as they had 5 and almost 6 guys all the way back, while the Bedford Bulldogs were substituting through the midfield line. Matthews gets some time and space. Bouncer goes. Can't leave him alone, even if he's 15 yards out. He's got too much heat. And the Bulldogs back to within 1.
Yeah, simple pick play as we see the replay coming through. Both the long sticks wondering who's got Matthews. And you saw Bennett. He realized that he had an extra step, and he took they call it a crow hop. He took one. On the run, I bet he would have gone high, and who knows. But really nice shot after he took the time, took the step, buried a bouncer.
Great way to show some poise there. Take advantage of the opportunity, and take advantage he does. Matthews now with a goal and an assist. 2 points on the day. 4-3 Astros. Pinkerton wins the face-off, and they'll settle. Quintiliani up top. Waits for the substitution through the midfield line as Jeff Gormady runs down into the offensive area. LaPointe doing a great job moving his feet. Quintiliani loses it. Bulldogs trying to scramble for it, and LaPointe comes away with it. Rolls away from pressure. Nice job, and now gets checked from behind. Good hustle play there by Tyler Pinardi. Little twister attempted there by Jeff Gormady. Kahn with the save.
Yeah, really nice on both sides. We saw LaPointe, the short stick freshman. Yes, Bennett Matthews makes catches a hospital ball.
Man, we call those buddy passes, hospital balls, whatever.
But to finish out, Teddy LaPointe doing a nice job one-on-one. Ethan Kahn standing tall again and getting this opportunity on offense for Bedford.
Held now with the ball up top. He'll step in. He's got some space, but eaten up. Burwell saves it low. His outlet pass gets batted, though, and Helton rips it near side. Just too wide. And Burwell is closest where it went out, when it went out. So the Astros will gain possession and try the clear. 2:26 to go here in the first quarter. The Astros ahead 4-3.
Excuse me, Corey. Not often that Helton will miss an easy one there. I think he actually got whacked on the elbow, which adjusted the shot there. Saw him grimacing a little bit as he walked off to ride.
Good choice here by Coach Auger. He saw his player getting double teamed at midfield, Jackson Farrell, by 2 strong defenders. Calls a timeout quickly to preserve the possession with 2:13 left in the first quarter, ahead by 1. If you're enjoying the game this afternoon, you could check out more BHS sports action from Bedford Community TV on your Apple TV and or Roku device. Download the app to watch the next game live on the big screen. We also have live channels and on-demand content. They're now easier to access at your fingertips than ever before. Bedford Community Television is available for free download on the iOS and Android app stores. Download the Bedford Community Television app from your app store today.
Post haste.
So exactly what we imagined, Jay, coming in here. Closely fought contest here between 2 13-4 teams. Solid offense, solid defense, scrapping for ground balls all over the place. Some physical play already. It's been a great game throughout this first quarter.
Yeah, we see Pinkerton really taking advantage of the unsettled situations, creating a little chaos. They've had a lot of goals. I don't know, 3 of their 4 goals have been based upon either man up, or excuse me, they were never, no flag, but odd man opportunities, having the advantage or a blown clear or something like that. And so we've seen the opposite from Bedford, really taking advantage of the 6-on-6, finding those skip passes. And I would say that we talked about scoring to begin with, shooting. Both teams have done a nice job. Love to see a few more from Bedford on goal, because I think they could tack on 1 or 2 more with some better precision there.
Both goalies coming up with some key saves there in that first quarter so far. Burwell back in his cage for the Astros and Kahn for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs will look to double and triple team as Quintiliani tries to clear it out, and does quite easily as we enter the last 2 minutes of play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, attackmen always try to ride and get that, but a good midi just runs right through.
They protect their sticks well. They actually sometimes will fish to try to get a penalty. Cut backside here, just high. Quintiliani saw Jeff Gormady cutting from the crease. Gormady's shot sails over Kahn's head. That was a tough one. Gormady wants that one back.
Yeah, that was a bullet dodged by Bedford. Gormady was one-on-one with the goalie and sailed it high. Again, we see everybody looking at the ball, and the cutters really being able to, on both sides, being able to get open and free their hands.
Bedford's defense is extending out pretty high, too. A little surprised to see them chasing all the way beyond the restraining box, and they pay for it here as Jackson Farrell, the sophomore, beats his man. Little twister, finds that low left corner and puts the Astros ahead 5-3.
Yeah, we saw Farrell take on 2, went through 2 short sticks in the excuse me, we got the replay. A little bit of body, but he kept his feet moving, and if you're Bedford, you have to push him down below goal line extended. They let him stay up there. He moved his feet, and he basically had a free 1-on-none against the goalie.
Nice job to change the angle of his stick, too. We call it a twister, where they bring it from their right side over to the left side and pop it in, increasing their angle, giving themselves better probability of hitting that cage. Good finish there by Farrell.
Yeah, and as a defender, you got to know where goal line extended is. Your guy is with the ball is much less of an issue if he's behind the goal. We call it goal line extended. A couple times here, Bedford's given up before GLE, goal line extended, and Pinkerton's taken advantage.
Back up top for Jeff Gormady. Just under a minute to go. Coach Auger giving some instructions, likely going to take the air out of this ball. Try to get a last shot here as Weaver takes it across the top. Back to Gormady. Riccio defending. They draw the double. Good second slide inside as they're able to cover the crease man. And Gormady will reset. Drives hard lefty. Good help on the slide. Now up top. Save Kahn. Tyler Barry sweeping across with his right hand, but the outlet pass is too high. Teddy LaPointe can't gather it, but the defender for the Astros scoops up the ground ball and sails it over the end line. Probably not what Coach Auger wanted there. 10 seconds to go. Still enough time for the Bulldogs to have a shot on net as the Astros go to a 10-man. Shot all the way down. Gathered in by the defender, Brady Blaska. And he'll huck it all the way back. Little tennis match here in the last 10 seconds, but no blood, no foul. We'll close out the first quarter with the Pinkerton Astros ahead 5-3. We do want to take a minute to thank our underwriters for supporting our live sports coverage. Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones, and the Copper Door. Really appreciate their support, helping with our production crew throughout the regular season here as we close out the regular season and look towards playoffs. Jay, as we look to playoffs, how important is it to be in that positive mindset, especially with the outcome of this game heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think winning it this time matters. Back in college, I reminisce. I was with some of my buddies this past weekend, and we always used to talk about winning when it counts. And this is not something that you can just turn on. You got to think of this as playoff time right now, as we see some of these really nice plays by Pinkerton. But it's a matter of you got to get in playoff mentality now, because it's win or go home. Then you can't get used to losing when you have a little bit of a buffer.
It's that intensity. It's that extra level. It's the next gear. especially with such an important one here as the regular season finale, gets you in that playoff mindset. So I'm sure both coaches instilling that urgency in their players.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit about, too, we're at this point in high school lacrosse, top end of New Hampshire high school lacrosse. Coaches definitely do game plan. And so if you're winning and coming out of this with a win, Pinkerton is going to have to think about what they can do differently, whereas Bedford's going to say, hey, we can do different things, but we know our base stuff wins. And so I think there's a big point to be made there for winning, because there's one kind of taking it to the other. If you win, you can almost dictate what the other team has to come and learn for the next time you see each other.
A 3-goal spurt right at the start of the game put Pinkerton out 3-0, back and forth throughout the rest of that first quarter. We start the second with a 5-3 margin for the Astros as they win the faceoff and will set into their half-field offense.
Yeah, Corey, for the first time in our illustrious partnership, I brought a pen and I took some stats. I see 8 faceoffs to 2 for Pinkerton, and that's really a huge stat coming into, and it contributes to a 3-5 score here with Pinkerton up by 2.
See, the Bulldogs have bounced into a zone defense of their own. 3-3, trying to neutralize some of these drives to the net by these skilled Astros offensive players. Running the little wheel on that far side for the righties. They bring it back inside. Beautiful save by Kahn. Unable to finish down low is Juskovic. And now Santos comes away. Nice little pick as that pass was unable to be completed. Now we'll get a trip here. Santos tripped from behind. Matt Gormady trying to stay in the play, but the junior attackman swipes and catches the foot of Cam Santos. He'll go in the box and feel shame for 30 seconds for the trip, and we'll see our first extra man opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, good handle by Santos as the ball found its way on the carpet, able to pick it up and run through a bit of contact. That doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a good opportunity here for Bedford to start the second quarter off strong with a goal, man up.
The Astros extending pressure out way up top, trying to disrupt the play here. Matthews far side. Purnell. Helton now. Will swim move up top, pulls it down. Matthews will pull the trigger and misses wide right. One more pass might have had Capello there with a step high and an easier shot, but Matthews has the green light at all times. Feed inside to Capello. He gets pushed from behind. They'll call that. Give the ball to the Bedford Bulldogs. Good job by the Astros to collapse on that crease. As a defender, you take that infraction every single time, so your defense can reset.
Yeah, I'd love to see Bedford here as they clock on the man up expires. Love to see them move the ball a bit faster. You shouldn't be dodging one-on-one when you're man up, and as we saw Helton do earlier, I think they have an opportunity to move the ball faster and really get an easy goal next time they go man up.
Helton had some time and space there at the tail end of that extra man opportunity, sails the shot high. Here's Purnell, runs into a triple team. Good body there by the Astros defense, Nathan Smith. He helps get it cleared out. And now cutting through the midfield and burying short stick defensive midfielder Cole Mackin. Puts the Astros up 3. See the replay here. Good patience. Weaver sees the cutter. Mackin just finishes low right with the bouncer. And the Astros up 3.
Yeah, Bedford on their heels a bit. Really nice vision. The short stick, those guys don't always get the love when they get off the field, but great to see him handle. But Bedford, again, probably sunk in a little bit too far, not able to get out and affect that shot as they'd like to.
Bulldogs come away with the ensuing face-off. They'll settle things down. Waiting for their offensive midfielders. Matthews will pull the trigger, lefty. Two-way go, Matthews is. a threat with both hands. Makes it really tough to defend as Purnell will step into the crease here and turn it over.
Yeah, that one was close. Purnell was tiptoeing, but defender was able to push him in. You know, Bedford definitely moving quickly when they have the ball. It's early on, but love to see him get a bit of possession moving forward, give their defense a bit of a rest.
3 minutes into this second quarter, the Bulldogs have yet to score in the second quarter and trail by 3. As the Astros with a successful clear and settle it down to get their offensive unit onto the field. Here's Jackson Farrell. Quintiliani now from top center. He draws Bennett Matthews as a defender. Farrell all the way back behind as the Bulldogs have crept back in, packed it in, and they see a cutter. Beautiful back cut by Jeff Gormady, and he's on the board.
Yeah, we see again Bedford just doing a bit of ball watching. That started when the ball went to X and Frangilio got caught a little bit unaware. As we see here, Frangilio in front of the cage, giving the attackman free hands, and that's a hard place to be, especially when you got to worry about the slide and you know, again, you got to defend from the inside out. I think Bedford really looking at the ball a bit too much and not protecting the core of their defense.
Very impressed by this freshman Weaver. Levi Weaver with a goal. The first goal, just getting top side on his defender, and now with 3 assists from number 25.
Yeah, the game's pretty easy when no one's playing you behind, too, to find an open pass.
We say sticks and gloves as defensive coaches and players basically want, with that 6-foot pole in your hand, you want to make a difference there, make it harder. Make it a challenge for those attackmen. They're too good and skilled. If nothing is close to them, nothing is irritating them. As they look to go here, righty drive, sweep by Tyler Berry. His shot low and wide to the right. Matt Gormady from behind. They fire it back up top. Weaver scoops it up, feeds the crease. Shot too high. Kyle Ushkovich getting a little bit of daylight. Can't hit the cage.
Yeah, we see Pinkerton getting more bold, throwing the ball in the middle, and their offense is doing a really nice job catching and releasing. Not hitting the goal, but they're taking advantage of the loose play and the loose defense from Bedford.
Loose as in not nearly close enough. These defenders, especially on the crease, need to be at least stick length away so they're able to make a check when that entry pass to the crease occurs. Gormady now. This is Matt Gormady. Tries to explore that goal line extended. Now Weaver drives hard to the right side. Tyler Pinardi. Quintiliani now. Long defensive possession for this Bulldogs D. Quintiliani back up top. Spin dodge, pulls the trigger. Kahn meets it low, makes the save. His outlet pass too high though. Teddy LaPointe can't catch up to it, and now scooping through Jackson Chase. Try to pull the trigger. Somehow that ball stays in his stick. Referees might want to check that at some point. Matthews though, headman's all the way up. Luke Purnell takes a tough one in the back. His very slow bouncer finds the top right corner, and the Bulldogs get a good one in transition.
Yeah, really nice play on the second one. You know, it's kind of funny. We saw the Bulldogs sunk way down. Purnell was way in front of or behind the defense. Matthews able to find him. I thought we were going to have a replay. However, when the ball's down on Bedford's side, love to see the Bedford attack up on the midfield line. We've seen 2 overthrows. There's a nice bouncer just hitting the corner from Purnell. We've seen 2 overthrows on the outlet, and the only person up there getting the ball is the Pinkerton defender. Love to see the attack be a bit more active in that clear.
Purnell actually drew a flag there on that play near the crease, likely a push, wiped out by the goal. We'll give the assist there to Matthews. I'm not sure if they'll actually count it, but I like the fact that he was keeping his head up, especially as these Astros are looking for these 10-man ride opportunities. Luke Purnell now with 2 goals. Matthews with a goal and 2 assists. Bulldogs back to within 3 as Helton guards Quintiliani way out top. Draws the double. Colby Boyd on Gormady. They switch up. Santos will switch to Gormady and play him heads up. Santos, the sophomore, pull. Quick pass in. Gormady to the attacker, Ushkovic. His hands are too quick. And the Astros back up by 4.
Yeah, and I think Frangilio was playing there. We'll see. Really nice move. Got his hands free. Number 12. And he was guarded there, but Pinkerton getting, again, more and more bold to put the ball into the tight spaces. Really nice passing. And, you know, you're either guarded or you're not. And right now, Bedford's not guarding the Pinkerton attack, and Pinkerton's taking advantage.
8-4 as we go back to the face-off. The Astros come away with the loose ball, and now a flag comes out. Likely a slash on Santos as Bedford D will pick up the loose ball, and Helton will pick up a penalty there on the backside. Late hit after the whistle, so we might see 2 Bedford defenders going in the box and feeling shame. 4:31 to go here in the first half. The Bulldogs already have some work to do, and now they'll go down 2 men. 6-on-4 opportunity for the Astros.
Yeah, here we're seeing the replay. Even after the first flag, Helton really just runs over the Pinkerton player from behind. Pretty easy one for the refs there to call.
And call it they do. 2 Bedford Bulldogs kneeling over there by the sideline. The Astros taking a somewhat slower approach than I imagined here as they get into their extra man opportunity. Weaver looks for the cutter inside, misses the mark. Ground ball scooped up by Farrell. Quintiliani. Weaver looks inside for cutters. Ushkovic wants it right there on the high crease. They finally feed it. Such quick hands. Gormady to Ushkovic, and he has a hattie before halftime.
Yeah, we see again Gormady able to get his hands free. And I think Bedford is a little bit caught off guard as they think they're covering. Sticks maybe on the hands there, you know, actively touching the other players, but these 2 specifically have done a really nice job, had a good connection. You know, I don't know. I think Bedford's got to really consider how they're playing defense. I see them switching a lot as well, and when you're switching, maybe you're always thinking about who you're going to guard next and leaving the guy you're guarding. See that here. They really got to figure out how they can secure defense on one guy and not let Pinkerton get these point-blank opportunities.
Tough position there for the Bulldogs as they were down 2 men, but still you want to force those outside shots, cave in from the backside. Clearly the player on the crease has the best opportunity to score, and in this case Ushkovic from Gormady twice in a row puts the Astros up 5.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point, is when we talk about 2 men down, you have to protect the middle. You are going to give up. If you're going to give up a goal or a shot, you got to give it up outside, and Bedford's just not doing that.
Kahn with the save, Matthews with the outlet pass, pushing the action here. The Astros hustling back on defense, do nicely to thwart that transition. Brendan Carney laying the lumber on Matthews. And now Helton will match up with Jeff Gormady. They switch off quickly for Brady Blaska. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Helton looks to get high side, draws the double, shoots through 2 and misses near side. Burwell scoops it up.
Yeah, Corey, we were
back of the net.
We were talking about coaches' game planning, and I see Pinkerton really extending. And when Bedford has had the most issue on offense this year, it's when the defense has really extended out and made them make plays that they don't, or passes they don't want to make. And Pinkerton's kind of taking it to Bedford a bit here.
Jackson Farrell. Nice catch through the midfield. They'll settle things down in the offensive end. Quick score update for everybody out there. The baseball team lost to Winnicott 10-2. That is a final. They'll host a preliminary round game next Thursday for all of those hardball fans out there. 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Bulldogs down by 5, and Weaver threatening again here for the Astros. Pops it up high. Farrell, now Gormady. He'll pull the trigger. Hits a defender out front. Scooped up by Colby Boyd. He's running through pressure. And the Astros with a dogged ride. That ball gets back on the turf. And now they have some numbers. They move forward. Gormady gets jammed, but scoops up the ground ball quickly, and they'll settle.
Yeah, nice ride by Pinkerton. I think Boyd was expecting to, after the first or second check, get away, but Pinkerton was dogged in their determination, able to get the ball on the ground, and here they are. Minute 15 left with yet another offensive possession.
Quintiliani takes his time, go down that right wing, draws John Purnell as the defender, usually an attacker rotating up from midfield. Quintiliani backside, Ushkovich hits the defender in the front. Tough bounce there for the Bulldogs, and Ushkovich has his 4th. The Bulldogs will take a timeout as the landslide continues. They had it to within a goal, 4-3 near the end of the first quarter, and just an absolute barrage by this Astros offense.
Yeah, really nice movement and cutting by the Pinkerton team, finding the open spots again, taking advantage of a Purnell slip, and you got a feeder coming back from behind without anybody on him, finds the right attacker, ball in the back of the net.
Tough one there as it deflected off of Purnell out front too. He's in decent body position and glanced off of his arm or shoulder and past Kahn. So the Astros hit the 10-goal mark before halftime. And again, the Bulldogs have some work to do.
You've been listening to Fleetwood Mac? You're talking about the landslide, isn't that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's actually one of my favorite songs that you touch on it. You know, Fleetwood Mac, of course, it's their song, but a little trivia here for you. I'm not sure if you've heard the Smashing Pumpkins acoustic version of that song.
All right, all right.
Billy Corgan does a marvelous job.
Maybe at halftime.
We'll
have to.
Andrew Fenn's going to have to pull that up back in the studio. We'll see if we can get a little cameo appearance from the bald-headed Billy Corgan.
Oof.
Yes, a landslide indeed. Pisces Iscariot album. It's a good one there. I think Harry Kozlowski would appreciate that one.
That's right. Has it in his 8-disc changer in his car.
1 minute to go here in the first half. The Bulldogs behind by 6. 10-4. We go back to the face-off circle, and we see a little change here by Coach Gaudreau as Teddy LaPointe faces with the pole. You noted those stats early on as Dylan Riccio was having a tough time against the face-off personnel from the Astros. Tyler Pinardi. The Astros win the face-off, take a quick timeout to get an opportunity on the offensive end.
Yeah, and some people may wonder, why are you putting a long stick out there? It's not as though Teddy is a better face-off guy than Dylan Riccio. He may be, but the point being is that if you have a dominant opponent you're going at, you want him to not get the ball, the person at the X. You want to actually make your wings beat their opponent, and so you make it a bit more of a 50-50 game. Unfortunately there, Bedford not able to take advantage.
LaPointe's whole job there is to get that ball back on the turf as soon as Pinkerton scoops it up, hack away, we call it sawing arms, just whack away at that stick and ball, try to get it back on the turf and have your wings come in for the help. They are unable to do so as the Astros scoop it up. Possession is called. Bulldogs' ride should be high and close to that midfield line as the players were released. See if they can, there they go, they finally realize it with 55 seconds to go in the first half. But a quick pass up to Quintiliani foils that plan quickly as Pinkerton kept his head up, eyes up, made the easy pass. Pinkerton will trot to that right wing. Impressed by Pinkerton too, he's a contributor. He's their face-off guy, but he's also contributing significantly on the offensive end for the Astros as he brings LaPointe behind here. Fires it up top, nice catch by Quintiliani. He takes a shot, but Kahn is true to the task. And with under 20 seconds to go, the Bulldogs look to clear.
Yeah, Pinkerton doing a really nice job as the freshman. I saw as Bedford takes a timeout here. We see Bedford actually doing a zone and having the short stick going out behind, trying to find some magic against this potent Pinkerton offense.
Nice catch on a tough ball by LaPointe. Gets possession in the offensive end. I might have thought Coach Gaudreau might want to see that transition play out, but he takes that timeout quickly. He wants to set up a play with 10 seconds remaining before halftime. See if they can get one more on the board. Talking it over before halftime. If you're Coach Gaudreau, Coach Koss helping run that offense, what are you looking to do here? Quick wheel on the righty side? Little dodge and dump? What are you looking for out of the Bedford offense?
Yeah, I think they're doing a really nice job when they have it. That's the key. It's got to start with the clear. When they get the ball, you got to treat it like gold. We've seen Bedford run down, and as they do, a bit of run and gun, shoot behind. If you're going to do that, here's what I would say, Corey. The one thing is I would park an attackman as close to the end line as you can, because you cannot play defense against a potent offense, then get the ball, come down, shoot it, and have the goalie be closest to backup. So you have to preserve those possessions. That's what I would be talking about with this offense.
Matthews gets a pick up high, runs down the right wing side, fires it wide, and as you requested, Capello with the backup. He's only got 2 seconds. He's going to try to jam the crease, see what they can do. Picked off out front by Burwell, and that'll do it for the first half. The Bulldogs hung with the Astros through the first quarter. It was a 2-goal game after one, but an onslaught from the Astros pushes it out to a 10-4 lead. We'll go to halftime and take a break. We'll join you on the second half action here from Bedford High School in just a few minutes.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
Welcome back to Bedford High School here, where we have some halftime entertainment still going on. Little bobbleheads providing the fans here some excitement while the two teams talk things over. They'll be clearing the field momentarily. And we'll get the second half underway. Jay, thoughts from that first half of action?
Yeah, credit to Pinkerton. They really dominated on all facets from face-offs. It was 12-3, really dictated the game. But I got to say, too, that we have not seen Bedford in their usual controlled, get the ball, run gun, make some outside shots. So I just would really like to see Bedford get a few more touches on the ball, a few more controlled shots, and on the defense, they have to play hands. They cannot look to slide before they cover off, someone else covers off their guy. again, credit to Pinkerton. I think they've really got Bedford on their back heels, and we'll see how the Bulldogs respond in this second half. It's got to be quick and it's got to be fast.
The Astros have done a marvelous job in transition defense as well, not giving up any of those goals in that transition type situation. Halftime score 10-4. The Astros ahead by 6. Leading the way for the Astros, Kyle Ushkovich, the attacker, the senior, just getting free too many times right on the crease, getting beautiful passes inside from Gormady. He has 4 goals. That matches the total for the Bedford Bulldogs. And now getting free here right from the faceoff, Dylan Stingle. He gets all the way to the cage and puts another one on the board for the Astros. They're ahead by 7.
Yeah, we just talked about Bedford having to get off to a hot start, but Dylan Stingle had thoughts of his own, really taking the face off, able to run down. Bedford using those sticks like lightsabers and not bringing body. It's really tough to stop a guy this fast just with your stick. And so, again, good on Stingle for creating a little bit more momentum and keeping it going from the first half.
That is the 8th different goal scorer for the Astros. Very impressed that they're spreading it around. Again, Ushkovich has 4 goals, 1 goal apiece for 7 other players, as the Astros, again, into the offensive area. You were talking about the Bulldogs needing a quick start here. This is not going to get it done.
Yeah, and I think for Bedford, this is all doable. It starts 1 goal at a time, 1 stop at a time. You got to see him here really focus on passing off the players and playing good team defense and defending from the inside out.
They defend from the inside out here as they double team. And now Weaver gets time and space from the top right of Kahn. Picks the near side post, chased out of bounds by Pinardi. So the Astros keep possession.
Yeah, but if you're Bedford, that's a win in essence, because it's an outside shot. Kahn had it covered. Yeah, they didn't get the backup, but you would give that up 9 times out of 10, and that's what's going to get you back in this game.
Riccio seeing what he can do on Pinardi here to try to get takeaway check. He'll switch. Now on to Weaver. Back behind for Ushkovich. Weaver now. The Astros briefly in a circle offense, but they'll put Ushkovich on a high crease now. Looking for those cuts when his defender's head turns. Weaver up top. Back to Gormady. Bulldogs extending their defense as they need to have some urgency here. Quintiliani, little swim move. Get some time and space. A long, deliberate offensive possession here for the Astros. They look to the sideline. Get some instructions. Here's Tyler Berry. Weaver now looks to go high side with his right. Good defense there by Riccio. They find the cutter. Gormady over the head check, gets it, but also gets some helmet. Getting run over on the backside was Gormady as he tracked down that ground ball. But we'll have a slash on the Bulldogs. Looks like it'll be Will Frangelo trotting to the sideline. Or excuse me, is that Riccio?
It's Riccio, I believe, yep.
That is Riccio, who will get the slash to the noggin. Takes a knee, goes in the box, feels shame, and the Astros back on the extra man offense. 9:30 to go, 3rd quarter. The Astros by 7. Pinkerton keeps it hot here, but they miss a connection. Good job there by Matt Gormady to scoop it back to Quintiliani up top. Ushkovich looks for the feed, top, pulling the trigger, but too high and wide right, Jeff Gormady. Weaver from X looks to feed inside. Nothing there. Here's Farrell. Gormady draws and dumps, cutter through the middle. Finally got a stick on that cutter in the crease. LaPointe chases it down back left of Kahn. Too many Astros there. They'll keep this extra man going. Good stick there. Boyd got a stick on that pass through the middle. Penalties released, and the Bulldogs do a nice job there to kill off that penalty. Back to 6-on-6 action.
Yeah, and I think we saw Pinkerton not too anxious to get into it and get a shot, as they know that the clock is their friend at this point. There's still plenty of time. Yeah, but I think as we love the fast-paced game of lacrosse, whereas Bedford has an opportunity here for an over and back.
The over and back is called. They'll put it back towards the midfield line, and turnover there by the Astros gives the Bulldogs a chance here. Helton steps it in, fires it behind to Purnell.
It's kind of a funny one, but again, as that ball was racing towards midline, there was only one player, the Pinkerton Astro, standing up at midline. Everybody else was down by the goal. Had an opportunity to keep it in their zone. Wasn't successful, thankfully, for Bedford.
Capello tries to round the corner. He gets stoned up high by Burwell. The Astros will clear it out. Quick offensive possession there for the Bulldogs. I would imagine Coach Gaudreau wanted a better opportunity there as Quintiliani catches it at midfield.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I mean, Capello came around the corner, one-on-none with the goalie, but yeah, I would have loved to see a fake or a high-low, something to change the plane. Goalie stood strong and took it right in the stick. Easy save.
Weaver looks to feed, now drives high. They feign the double. Good defense there by the Bulldogs. They finally figured that out. And now here's Jackson Farrell. Draws Parker Gupta as the defender.
Parker having a really good season this year. Senior, getting a lot of playing time, given his hard work and some injuries elsewhere. Probably that attackman not thinking he would be playing defense here at the midfield slot when the season started.
Good fake there by Quintiliani. Dips his head, but Kahn stuffs him up high. That's the fake that you wanted to see, but Kahn was onto it. Keeps it a 7-goal game as Colby Boyd looks to clear. Finds Gupta in the midfield. Matthews streaking through the center of the field. Gets ahead of steam. He'll pull the trigger and score. Individual effort there. Lefty back to his right. Fires a bouncer and gets it past Burwell. It's 11-5.
Yeah, huge goal. Had to have. We've been talking about Bedford being able to take advantage and have a little bit of time on offense, but Matthews, seeing the unsettled situation, running hard, going left, being able to stop and turn, got his hands free. Really nice shot. I think it was off stick side hip, just about the hardest place for a goalie to save. Again, had to have it for Bedford.
Tough one to save, especially on that bouncer, is that he dropped his hands, got that ball to come back up, and found the back of the net. I can't dismiss his move to get the defender on the turf too. Went to his left, split dodge back to his right. Defender fell down, giving Matthews some time and space. 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Bulldogs get one back, but it's still a 6-goal deficit. Purnell dropped it, picked it back up.
Phantom check.
Call that the Jedi mind check. His feet up top, doesn't make it to help. Picked off by Brady Blaska. Took a good chop on his arm as it goes by, and we'll see some dirty laundry on the field. Helton will go in the box and feel shame for a slash. Kind of an easy call as he wound up with that left hand and came down hard on the wrists. That'll leave a mark. Bulldogs will try to kill off another 1-minute penalty with 5:38 to go in the third.
Yeah, like you said, the defender definitely had the edge as we turn here. Picked it off. That's number 7. Brady Blaska was passed, and yeah, Helton a little bit too aggressive there. Kind of not a lot of reward for that risk, unfortunately, as we see Pinkerton man up yet again.
Blaska was hanging the butt end of that long stick, and Helton just saw it there, started salivating, and thought he could get a good check on there. Blaska moved it away right at the last moment, drew the penalty, and now the EMO for the Astros. Feed backside, Quintiliani pulls Kahn. Somewhat routine save for him as that bouncer came up stick side, shoulder height. Kahn makes a sure-handed stab of it. Riccio looks to clear. Gupta out of the box. Runs away from pressure. And now finds Luke Purnell deep in that back right corner. Purnell tries to feed Gupta, probably an ill-advised pass there. It sails over the near side sideline, and the Astros have another chance to clear things out.
Yeah, great concept. Gupta was in essence open, however, Purnell had to float that ball over 2 defenders, and it just wasn't meant to be. But really nice ride by younger Purnell to push out, Gormandy, I think it was? Yeah, running down the sideline. Very nice, and again, we're getting into a little bit of the have to have it mode. Bedford definitely maybe didn't have to have it, but really wanted it and really needed that possession change.
Good job on the ride by John Purnell there, as you mentioned, using that sideline to his advantage. Matthews, shot low to low, eaten up by Burwell. That had to have it. Possession was far too short as we tick down to 4 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, for a really strong shooter like Matthews, even that was a bit aggressive and
ambitious.
Ambitious is a good way, good term. 15 yards on the 15-yard line, but probably 20 when it came to the angle. Tough one, and hopefully the Bedford defense can stand strong here and get the possession back.
Weaver up top as they try that draw and dump along this right side for the righty offensive players. Defended well by the Bulldogs. And now we'll see here Jeff Gormady settle things down and draw the long stick Santos. Gormady, Quintiliani, pulls, bouncer, good. 12-5 Astros.
Yeah, really nice goal there by Quintiliani, able to catch the ball on a sweep. Matthews went for a one-handed wrap check, didn't get it. Quintiliani, as we see Cam Santos, had the ball in, but Gormady able to keep his hands free. As we see that back check by Matthews not landing. Quintiliani took advantage, kept his head down, kept moving. Bouncer, stick side. 5-12.
Assist goes to Jeff Gormady there as he was sweeping right-handed, saw the cutter on the crease, and now a break opportunity for the Astros again. A little tic-tac-toe, but they can't squeeze it from the point man. LaPointe tries to scoop it out towards the offensive end, but gathered in by Dylan Stingle. And another offensive opportunity for the Astros. They lead by 7, just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. 12-5 is your score. And they have the ball, and time is getting short, and your defense is going to have to press out here. Tough combination all around. Shot deflects out to the backside, where the very aware Kyle Yushkevich picks it up and scores his 5th goal of the game, and the Bulldogs are reeling.
Yeah, I think Con, unfortunately, as we see number 12, Gormady coming around, the other Gormady coming around, and Con actually thought the ball was in the goal. Yuskevich aware, bounced right to him. Easy. Cash.
Tough one there for Con. He couldn't see the ball, thought it might have already gone in or somewhere else. It was still in play. Frangelo, quick ground ball up to Matthews. Tries to press the issue. Up quick. Bulldogs. Tic-tac-toe. Purnell to Capello to Purnell. And John Purnell cashes his first of the game. The Bulldogs desperately needed that one.
Yeah. John Purnell quite literally hopping up and down, trying to signal that he was open. Really nice movement, kept their head up, and that's what happens when you move the ball quickly. As they say, when you teach the little kids, like those bobbleheads we saw at halftime, the ball moves faster than the feet, and in that case, Bedford took advantage.
Yeah, you could see Purnell. He's like, hey, come on, man, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. Capello finally did. And John Purnell did what he needed to do, as any attackman should. A little fake, get the goalie moving, and finish well on that one-on-one. 13-6 is your score as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter.
And we see another face-off win by Stengel. As we talked about earlier, you put the long pole. Teddy LaPointe took that face-off for Bedford. You put him on to not let Stengel, the face-off man, get the ball, but Stengel's able to get the clamp and then drag it far enough back that he's fast enough to go pick up the ball. Again, really good, very, very good face-off guy, and I think we see some prompts from the crowd, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. With that assist from Evan Capello, he has now reached the 100-point mark of his career. Congratulations to Evan Capello, the senior attacker. He's been running attack this year, a natural midfielder, but out of necessity has bounced down to the attack. And great milestone there for Evan. Congratulations, young man.
Yeah, headed to Bentley this coming fall to play lacrosse and continue his studies. Always good. Hopefully we'll see him around in future years, as it's a short jaunt there.
See a keep it in call here from the officials. To me, it seems a little premature. That they have the discretion to call that when they feel the offense is stalling. The Astros here pull that keep it in call as Gormady toys with LaPointe up to the top right of Kahn.
Yeah, I agree, Corey. That's a bit of an early call. Perhaps it's an accumulation from others.
And now his brother Matt Gormady gets high side lefty, low stinger, beats Kahn, and a flag down.
Yeah, very nice move. The keep it in, and Bedford starting to extend as the quarter comes to an end as they're extending out. Frangilio playing, but Gormady gets a stop. Able to bury. Again, the team defense by Bedford just hasn't been where it has been in earlier parts of this season. Taking over for each other, and Pinkerton's taking advantage.
We're going to get a foul here, too. At the end of that play, I believe Capello is going to pick up the penalty. Nope. Maybe. Not quite clear. It looks like it might be Helton who's going to walk back to the box, take a knee. It is Helton. He gets called for either a high hit, unsportsmanlike, something around that. Perhaps a slash. Either way, dead ball foul gives the possession to the Astros. No face here. And they will go back on the offense quickly with an 8-goal lead. And trouble for the Bulldogs as time ticks. So a 6-on-5 for the Astros. Nice job there by Riccio. Brian Riccio gets possession for the Bulldogs. He'll press the issue. Draw a double, now triple. Looks backside. His pass is picked off, though. A long pass up front. Kind of a strange one there from Levi Weaver as he sails it. But he knew time was short with just 3 seconds to go here in the quarter. We'll hear the horn blast as the third quarter comes to a close, and the Bulldogs reeling from a strong second quarter, putting them down 6 at halftime. The Astros continued that momentum into the third quarter as they take a 14-6 lead after 3.
Yeah, it's been tough. We talked about it earlier, Corey. Do you want to win? Do you want to lose? Absolutely, you always want to win, but the negative knock-on effect from this type of game is we see the Bedford team maybe a bit down. So I think if you're Coach Gaudreau, you're talking to him, you're looking at him saying, hey, look, we are in the playoffs. We got a lot to play for right now, and it starts with the next 12 minutes. Let's turn it around. Let's win 12 minutes and move forward.
There you go. Win the quarter, get back in a positive mindset, do what you can to close this out in the right way. We do also want to take a moment here in between quarters to thank our underwriters. We at BCTV and WBNH thank them for supporting our live sports coverage. That's Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones, and the Copper Door. We appreciate their support throughout the regular season for helping make live sports coverage possible. 5 goals for Kyle Ushkovich He's been leading the way for the Astros. The only other multiple goal scorer is Matt Gormady. He has 2 and 2. A smattering of players with 1 goal apiece. Leading the way for the Bulldogs, Bennett Matthews has 2 and 2. Luke Purnell with 2 goals of his own. Helton and Purnell a goal each. That rounds out their 6. Not enough so far, as the Astros have been maintaining good possession, drawing penalties, getting a lot of cuts right on the crease, not defended well, and they have an 8-goal lead with just 12 minutes to play.
Yeah, we see him up 16-4 on faceoffs.
Somewhat out of character too there, because we've seen Dylan Riccio quite successful throughout this regular season, and he's met his match here with Tyler Pinardi. The only other equally dominant face-off guy we've seen is the guy down at Bishop Girton, who was
Paulo, yeah,
just absolutely amazing. Just won 90 to 100% of those face-offs. So the Bulldogs will clear it out of their own end to start things. The Astros in a 10-man ride. Matthews runs through 4 players. Headmans the ball to Luke Purnell as the Astros were in a 10-man ride. The goal was open momentarily, but they recover quickly as the Bulldogs will settle.
Yeah, nice individual effort by Matthews. He had, I think, 4 guys on him at one point. Got the ball to Purnell. I think we see some dirty laundry down. The ride of Pinkerton brought 1 extra guy on defense as a goal is scored.
The goal is scored. Helton inside to John Purnell. The flag was out of the official's pocket for a second penalty. I'm not quite sure what that one was, but there was a delayed penalty on an offside. And even with an extra defender, the Bulldogs thread the needle. John Purnell on his 2nd of the day. And they bring it back to 14-7.
Yeah, I think we had 2 separate fouls there. A push in the back with Purnell. Really nice handle. That's a strong lefty, getting it a little bit behind him, being able to turn and score and absorb some contact. Nice individual effort.
2nd assist on the day for Brody Helton. He has 1 and 2. John Purnell with 2 goals as the Bulldogs lose another face-off. This time to Dylan Stingel. Both of these Astros face-off guys have been doing a marvelous job at that X. Bringing it all the way behind, Weaver. He'll dodge hard to his right, look for cutters, sees another backside, and guess who it is on that crease again? You guessed it, Kyle Ushkovich. 6 goals. Weaver with yet another assist. That's 4 for him on the day, and we've seen it time and time again today. Yeah, we see an open guy on the crease, easy one-on-one. Khan has no shot, and it's back to an 8-goal margin.
Yeah, Weaver with about as easy an assist as he's going to get, as Ushkovich was standing there completely alone and utterly alone. Maybe lonely in some senses, but just really nice play from Pinkerton and Bedford getting sucked up high, trying to watch the cutters and losing track of the ball, and the most important place is right in front of the goal.
That might have been one of those ones where Ushkovich said, man, I'm surprised I didn't get whacked yet.
Yeah.
Matthews looking for the cutter, Luke Purnell. Luke Purnell missed it. Ground ball picked up by the Astros. Great hustle by Purnell to get it back on the turf, but it trickles over the end line. It'll be the Astros ball.
Yeah, Capella had a shot at that one. Fortunately, not a clean pickup. Astros ball.
Brendan Carney far side. Back to Burwell as the Astros will clear. Near side Jackson Chase. Climb the ladder near side and find Jeff Gormady. They got the Bedford defense moving and had an odd man on the backside with Weaver. Weaver chases it down, and now LaPointe draws a penalty, likely a cross check, as he tried to push Weaver out of bounds. Well, they call a hold. Huh?
Yeah, that's a. Whew, I guess they were just, picking anything at random. But I think that was, a nice play by Weaver, the freshman. Didn't really have anywhere to go. Won the foot race, but was stuck on the sidelines and basically turned his back and ducked. And Teddy LaPointe, running hard, rode right up and I guess held him at some point. However,
yikes.
The flag was right. The call, suspect.
Yeah. 15-7. Just under 10 minutes to go in this game, and the Astros back with their extra man offense. I would suggest the Bulldogs play that crease a little tighter than they have as they'll spin it around the outside. Matt Gormady near side, Quintiliani up top now. Jeff Gormady back up top to Quintiliani. Vuskovic, goal line extended on that right side. They look inside for those cutters, and they take a patient approach as the penalty runs out, and we're back to even strength on just a 30-second foul. Looking up top, I believe the Astros didn't realize that they were back to even. They thought Quintiliani was going to be open. Matthews looks to feed backside. John Purnell had vacated. Pass goes out of bounds.
Yeah, really nice defensive stand. Able to fend off the man down, and unfortunately Matthews and Purnell not on the same page, throwing the ball away, and here we are, the Astros moving in the offensive direction.
Great ride here by the Bulldogs. I love to see that. The Astros will take a timeout. Coach Auger sees his team struggling with the clear, and kudos to this Bedford attack as they were hustling all over. Capello sprinting, trying to get some pressure on these clearing Astros. And then at the end there, Purnell riding him towards that far sideline, causing the timeout to be called. Great hustle all over as we're just under 9 minutes to go. Still an 8-goal margin. A lot of work for the Bulldogs, but you see them still hustling all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Corey, I can't stop thinking about those underwriters, and you were talking about those fantastic restaurants. I would love some monkey bread right now. You ever had that Copper Door monkey bread?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
You know, we're getting about that time
Lights out.
The evening. Some chicken tenders, perhaps. Some
maybe a martini to go with it. I mean, you know, if you're old enough, of course.
Yes.
There is a limit there. But yeah, marvelous combination over there.
Yeah.
Appreciate those underwriters.
But back to the game.
Back to the game, of course.
I think now, Corey, as we see time waning, I think Bedford, Coach Gaudreau is just talking to him about we've got to extend. We've got to extend and make sure we crash hard when Pinkerton makes the pass. You got to create some havoc right now to really affect this game down by 8.
Although it sounds kind of awkward, this could be a fun time for a defender. You can extend out, play a little less position, a little harder on the hands, throw some what you might call haymakers or takeaways or some kind of checks that you might not normally throw. And the Bulldogs force a turnover here as the pass sails over the head of Tyler Berry. No takeaway checks needed as LaPointe picks it up near side. Quick pass up. Riccio can't squeeze it, but pulls in the ground ball, and now his pass too low. Capello sees it go through the legs. Bill Buckner-esque right there, and the Bulldogs turn it over. The Astros back into the offensive area. Gormady, nice little stutter step dodge, but he'll pull it out, settle things down, and kill some time. As we tick down to 8 minutes to go. 8-goal lead for the Astros, 15-7. At this point, likely out of reach. You don't like to say that, but given the offensive output so far in this game, Bulldogs are likely looking forward to the quarterfinal. The quarterfinal likely hosted by the Bulldogs next Saturday, June 7th. In the afternoon, I believe a 5 p.m. face-off. They'll host, I think it's still remains to be determined, but they will host the first round playoff game as Gormady drives hard righty here and pulls a shot wide left. We'll bring the call from Bedford High School that evening. I believe it's a 5 p.m. face-off. Jay and I will be here in the box to see how the Bulldogs fare in their first round of the playoffs this year. Looking to make a run deep, see what they can do. Astros drive hard. Shot score. Matt Gormady, his third of the game. It bounced in the net and bounced out. Looked like it hit the pipe, but the officials are right there. They're easily making that call. So he'll get the third of the game for him. Levi Weaver with the assist.
Yeah, and again, Weaver willing to jam it in there. Free hands. I think we saw the replay. It was a little bit hard to tell, but I do believe that ball actually hit just inside the pipe and bounced. We saw the net move.
Weaver, 5 assists on the day to go with his goal to start things off. Santos gets it taken as Dylan Stingle will go back on the offense. Weaver gets another assist. Ushkovich gets another goal. That's 7 on the day for Ushkovich. Weaver has 6 assists. Tough turn of events there as the Bulldogs had it on the face-off and then turned it over. They lead to transition, and the Astros push it out to a 10-goal lead.
Yeah, again, just a very efficient ride. Santos maybe not moving his feet as he should have. Big, fast, strong kid was standing still. Stingle able to get the ball, and textbook fast break. So not much more to say. And as we see Stingle with another possession, I can't say stolen at this point, just earned for Pinkerton.
No stealing there. They've been all over it all game, and now we see the Pole trying to get in on the action. He'll pass it off. Carney finds Gormady behind. He'll trot back to the other end. Workman-like approach here for the Astros. Just too much, too frequently. Weaver, very impressive night, 6 assists. Ushkovich, 7 goals, just getting open far too many times for this Bedford Bulldog defense. Ushkovich's output has equaled that of the entire Bedford offense.
Yeah, we saw in that play too, Carney with a really nice clear, and as many long poles are wont to do, was kind of looking longingly, kind of just looking for anybody to pass him the ball so he could go score. Fortunately, his team, I don't know, you got up 10, you got to give the guy a shot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the coach, you're not too upset if he takes the pull right there.
That's one of those ones you're like, oh, you need anything? No? Okay. Oh, wait, did you say my name? No? All right. Wait, you sure? Oh, okay. I thought I heard something. Up 10. Give the long pole his due.
Give it to him. Give it to him. They did not. He retreats. And now we get another keep it in call as the Astros taking a deliberate approach on the offensive end. Here's Gormady. Drives hard along goal line extended, gets the edge, gets the goal. That's Matt Gormady's 4th goal on the afternoon. Just too quick for the defenders, 18-7. And now it's getting away from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Gormady, kudos to him, but just no fear. Little guy running, dips his shoulder, a lefty. Yeah, keeps it in his right hand, but no fear running into that middle, switches left. Look at that, not a single person collapsing and stopping the ball. It's it's age old. The first person, the most dangerous person, is the one in front of the goal with the ball, and Bedford's gotta remedy that as we go into the playoffs.
4-2 for Matt Gormady. Flag down for the Bulldogs. Helton drives hard, can't get his hands free. Little scoop pass backside. Gupta can't hit the cage, but there is a yellow hanky down, so Bulldogs will go back to the extra man opportunity. Couple updates here. The Bulldogs likely to play Londonderry next Saturday in the 3 versus 6 matchup, as Pinkerton will come away with the #1 seed. Bishop Girton was locked into the 2. The Bulldogs dropped to the 3, and Exeter will have the 4 seed. Merrimack with the 5. Great year out of Coach Miller and the Tomahawk squad, as Burwell makes a save on Matthews from his top right. Hit there. Helton's going to go in the box and feel shame. They'll call that one every time. That used to be a phenomenal play in lacrosse, but no longer accepted. Helton will go to the box.
Yeah, and I think the refs just saw Helton not looking at the ball, not playing the ball, just playing the body, and I agree with you. I mean, it's that's just a tough play. But the refs have the discretion, and you can't argue, especially with this type of game. You don't want to get it away, let it get away from you. But tough one to see, Bedford going man down.
I didn't quite see the call on the far side. I'm not sure if they locked in that penalty or not, but again, discretion for the officials. If they think it's severe enough, they'll give him a minute and lock it in, meaning that if the Astros score, he will not be released from his penalty.
Yeah, Corey, you were talking about Merrimack. I saw some good news. We talked about Coach Miller, who we have had on this broadcast. His son able to make it back and see some action after some illness and time away. So really nice to see him, the young man, out on the field. I believe a senior, getting some game time.
Not only has he gotten some time, I understand that Jake Miller scored a goal in one of the recent games. So phenomenal opportunity for him to get back after his battle and see some excitement in both playing time as well as scoring a goal. Congratulations, Jake. Great story there. All the best in that continued battle. As well as they approach the playoffs, that's going to be a good tilt against Exeter.
Yeah, I think we see actually 5-on-5 lacrosse as Pinkerton somehow, some way picked up a foul and has someone in the box as well.
Maybe a chirp on the backside as things are getting a little rowdy here in the last 4.5. Just too much speed right there for Jackson Farrell. Gets the edge. 19th goal of the game in that 5-on-5 situation.
Yeah, we see Farrell just moving his feet again, and these kids are definitely not tipping the scales above the Bedford defenders, but not a lot of fear as they just basically run by and soft, not a lot of stick on hands. And I think that's something we've seen Bedford struggle with, is they have their big, strong defenders getting run around, by the smaller kind of scat back defenders. Something they're going to have to think about how they approach the same type of offense in the playoffs.
We got an old school reference for you. Every time I hear scat back, I think Dave Meggett.
Ooh, that's a good one. Kicker turner as well, that guy.
Absolutely. Wow, great check there. Riccio gets dirty, not dirty, equipment all over the laundry, all over the turf. Pinwheel check, but unfortunately the ball goes right to Jeff Gormady. Under 4 minutes to go now, a 12-goal game. Riccio pressing out, seeing if he can get Quintiliani to turn it over. Dave Meggett, the New York Giant of old. Farrell, quick feet just like Meggett.
That is an old reference.
Yeah, I thought you would like that. I think that was like the 1986 Giants team with Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Phil Simms. Ooh, good stuff there. We're back to action here. We're in running time with this margin late in the game. Probably not a bad thing for the Bulldogs that clock is ticking.
Especially with their locked-in penalty as well. Might as well let the clock run.
Gormady back up top. Quintiliani. Gormady pulls it, tries to get to that goal line extended. Under 3 to go. Bulldogs trying to press out a little bit, but that's tough to do when you're a man down. And the penalty is finally released as Gormady's time and space shot deflects off of Riccio up top. Dylan Riccio eating it.
Ouch.
Hope it hit his stick instead of a leg. Gormady, quick feet, feeds backside. Farrell can't squeeze it. LaPointe scrapping for that ground ball, but Farrell comes away with it. 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, and I think this is something, again, as Bedford sees another goal running pretty much straight to the goal, but I think it's something Bedford's going to have to remedy. They got a kid who's maybe 5'8", $145, wet, running through without fear in the middle of your defense.
17, Jackson.
Got to change that.
Definitely need to change that physical approach from the D. They need to take a little more pride back there. LaPointe hung the stick, almost got the trail check there, but Farrell protects it long enough. 2 in a row from Farrell. They press it out to a 20-7 score. 3 on the day for Farrell now with these 2 late ones. Running time. Must have been a procedure call on the face-off. Matthews pulls, tries to pick that top right corner. Burwell with another save. Matthews hustling backside. He'll get a slash on that ground ball. It was a loose ball. They call push. There's no possession there, so I'm not quite sure why there's a penalty.
They're being very generous to the Pinkerton team as we see the ball. That is,
that's definitely a loose ball.
That is tough. Not secured in the cross.
Oh, they called off the penalty, so no penalty, but it is a loose ball foul. Probably the right call there. Probably a little overzealous throwing the yellow hanky out there, but 20-7 is your score. Last 30 seconds here. Want to take this opportunity to thank the Bedford Community Television crew here. 2 cameras this evening. Bill Jennings, Jack Watson, back from school helping us out tonight.
This SU guy.
The SU guy, of course. Another Orangeman.
They're just the orange now.
Oh, sorry. Who knows? Orange men and women? Orange people?
Gender non-specific.
Just orange.
Just the orange.
Just a fruit.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you again to the BCTV crew again. Andrew Fenn back in the studio as time runs out on the day. Final score here, 20-7. The Bulldogs kept it close early, but too much, too often from the Astros throughout the rest of the game. The Bulldogs will try to regroup before their first playoff game, which will be next Saturday. Again, we'll bring you that action here on Bedford Community Television. We will see you then. For Jay Abendroth, I'm Corey Munster-Tiger. You guys have a great night out there.